Morning, Nate.
Morning, Barry. How you doing?
I'm good. Dad, you with us?
Yeah, I am.
All right, go ahead.
How you doing, Nate?
How you doing, Coach?
Okay.
Enjoying your summer?
Yeah, it's okay. I know recruiting is number one, and getting you guys to play hard when you get them is number two. But for me, scheduling was huge, and it ranks right in there behind those other two things, basketball-wise. It looks like you're off to a pretty good start with your schedule.
You know what? I thought, it's pretty much done. We're waiting on a contract to get back, and I think they'll release it. We don't know who the opponent will be in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Other than that, though, we'll have it done. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks they'll release it. But when I came from Buffalo, you had the schedule pretty tough there. Out there, you're basically in one big league, so you're not going to schedule your way into the tournament. Although by my last year there, we got good enough. We hadn't at large if we hadn't won the MAG tournament. So the philosophy here is kind of different. I think you can schedule your way into the NCAA tournament because we're obviously not in a one big league in the SEC. So we want to schedule as hard as we can without scheduling too many losses in there. And I know Barry helped with the scheduling, and you obviously had to do it. So I almost felt like, and we've got a scheduling company that we use, and I talked to them about the order of some of the games too. Like Penn was a good schedule. Try not to open though.
No.
They're going to be really good on game one. We're going to be just okay, with a new group last year and everything. We would have been way better served to play Penn in the middle of December than we would have in the beginning of November. So sure. I think we're trying to be, and when you play a team has zero effect on the net rating and all that. I mean, whether you play them November 12th or March 12th, it's all the same with those net ratings. So we tried to think that we're going to get a little bit better with, we've got 8 new guys that have never played a game for Alabama before. Let's not try to schedule somebody that's got, 10 or 11 returners for our first game in November. So, when you play somebody is kind of just as important as who you play, I think, too.
Yeah, Dad was always big on wanting to go on the road in a non-conference game when all the students were gone. Find out when they're on break, and let's go over there then. So, pretty good theory there, Nate. Where are your players now, Coach? Are they here? When can they come back? If they're not, tell us what's going on with the squad right now.
Yeah, so they're almost all here. 12 out of the 13 on scholarship are in Tuscaloosa. They came back. They all got tested last week. Everything's good there. So now they can voluntarily use the weight room. And we still can't require anything, but I think we've got pretty good, our guys are pretty motivated. A lot of them, we need to have a better year. So, Snowden was able to work them out in the weight room yesterday. And, Clark's we've got a lot of guys recovering too, like Rojas and Juwan Carey are still recovering from the knee surgeries. Quinterly's recovering. Herb's still recovering with his wrist after the season. They kind of casted him up, made his heel right, and he did out of that not too long ago. So they're in with Clark, but no, we can't, as coaches, we can't do anything with them yet. I think the NCAA is supposed to vote, I believe, tomorrow on when they're going to give us the, they call it CARE, the Accountable Athletic-Related Activity. So I don't know when they're going to give us our, and I don't know if they'll give us the full 8 hours right away. I don't know. All this stuff is, it's just, there's nothing normal or usual about it. I think they're really focused on trying to make sure we have a football season first, and then they'll try to figure out what's going on with basketball after that.
Can those guys, Coach, can they get in the gym and play pickup if they want? Is that okay to do?
No, it's actually a great question. we've, as basketball coaches, we have weekly meetings with the SEC basketball coaches. Some of us have made the point, like, look, our guys are playing pickup somewhere.
Right.
But the NCAA, you know, like, I mean, like, come on, like, they're basketball players. That's what they do. Like, you know, they're going to find a place. There's gyms open in Alabama. There's gyms open in Georgia. You know, most of the states where the SEC is, stuff's open. So guys are going to find gyms. So yeah, our guys are playing pickup, but no, not at
yeah,
not in our facilities because they're not allowed to in our facilities right now. You know, they're really, and even when they can use our facilities, it's really monitored. You know, our clerk, our trainer, has to really make sure. Like, they don't even let them exchange balls. Like, they can't even, like, two of our guys can't pass balls back and forth.
Oh,
so like it's like, so we have 4 of the shooting machines. You know, so we basically, if you want to shoot voluntarily, you come in during this slot, and, you know, Clark's got his staff that's sanitized everything and, you know, has 3 or 4 balls in the shooting machine, and they can shoot on their one rim, you know, on the shooting machine. So, yeah, it's everything's different. So, no, are guys playing pickup? Probably somewhere.
yeah.
Are they playing pickup in our gym? No. So, you know, but I mean, that's who they are. They're basketball players. So, yeah, if they're not playing pickup, you know, my guess would be, yeah, they're probably playing pickup somewhere.
Sure. That.
Nate, did anything in the SEC after playing the 18-game round-robin schedule? Actually, it's not round-robin, but after playing the 18-game schedule, anything in the SEC surprise you, basketball-wise?
You know what? I'm not sure I'd necessarily say surprised, but I would say that maybe stood out, like some stuff, like, you know, as a guy that kind of grew up in Big Ten country in the Midwest and then was in Buffalo, you always thought of the SEC as a super athletic league. You know, you watch it on TV. Shoot, going back to your days when I used to watch your teams, and Sprewell was pretty athletic. I mean, you had some athletes down here, but when you're playing against some other SEC teams, it's not like you're super out athletic. I think it's still the case. I think this league's really athletic. I do think, I'll say this, maybe the one thing that maybe surprised me is due to all the athletes that are in this league, I'm surprised that more coaches don't try to play a little faster. Like we still don't. Maybe, I mean, we played fast, obviously. And the NBA is completely trended towards playing fast. I mean, it's shifted completely. And so the trend in basketball is to go towards playing more fast and up-tempo. And there's not as many teams want to play fast as I would have thought maybe would have played fast due to the athleticism. But the athleticism still gives you a little wow, you know, on a nightly basis. Like some of the bigs and what the bigs can do and how athletic they are. I mean, we felt like as a staff we needed to upgrade our athleticism. Shoot, back when you coached, Coach, it was you know, it's a different type of game a little bit. You know, there's stronger. I mean, even the NBA was much different back then. But shoot, your teams were. You had some teams back then that were a whole lot more athletic than maybe what we had, you know, out on the floor at times this year. So we felt like we needed to get a little bit more athletic like your teams were, to be honest with you, to compete with some of these teams.
Yeah, you feel pretty good when you're bringing Jason Caffey off the bench. That's
true. Caffey goes and plays. He's on that Last Dance thing. Caffey came through the offices last summer. That guy looks like he should be playing like defensive end or left tackle in the NFL right now. He looks like he's in as good a shape now as he's ever been. He was a monster.
Yeah,
he was huge.
Yeah,
he got hurt the year I had him. He got hurt. I didn't get to play him. He didn't get to play him the whole time. But he was a good player. I thought he was going to be one of the best players I ever signed. But of course, I only had him the 1 year. But he was very good.
Yeah. Well, that team had Ori Sprewell, James Robinson. There were some pretty good players.
Coach, did you coach Keith Askins?
Well, I coached Keith Askins. He's he buried that thing against Florida in the finals of the tournament. He's a guy that would play he would play at any point in time. He'd start, he'd not start. He'd come in late in the first half. He'd come in towards the end of the game. He just played hard and got better and better and better. He had no scholarship offers, and he played 12 years in the league.
Yeah, I talked to. We actually put him on the phone with Herb. I mean, because Herb was in the draft, and so he was able to. I was talking to an NBA scout, and he kind of made the comparison between Keith and Herb.
Yeah.
So
that's a good comparison.
We connected the two of those. Had a great talk. Like, just, Keith kind of did an interview with Herb, like, because Herb's name was in the draft and all that, and so he was able to do it, legally that way. But was it true that Keith never started a game when he was at Alabama, or was that?
He didn't start a whole lot of them. He did in finals of the tournament, I think, and he did some games, but no, I don't think he started a lot the first couple of years he was there. But he worked so hard, got so much better, and we were so much better when we substituted. We really got better when we substituted him. That's the way I played it. So.
Yeah, he was with Derek McKee and Farmer and all those guys, so he was kind of like a sixth man there for a while. But great guy, too. Keith Askins is a phenomenal guy.
That tells you how much talent you had back then. If that guy was your sixth man, and then he's got some rings with the Heat, doesn't he?
Probably in coaching. I don't know if he got one play.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Coach John Petty, I guess August 3rd, he's got to decide. You can comment on it if you want. Tell us what you know there as much as you know right now.
I mean, the NBA teams calling for feedback has really slowed down. Just, I think most teams have gotten probably the information they need, which to me was puzzling. I know why the NCAA decided to put the date August 3rd. They need to make it look as if they're really looking out for the student athlete, which in today's culture and with the way things are, I understand that, but there's really not a whole lot more information going to be gathered between now and August 3rd. I mean, I don't believe that the NBA teams are going to be able to work them out in between now and then. If they do have a combine, I've heard it might be a virtual one. So, as of right now, he's still telling us basically if he gets a guarantee to be in the top 40, 45, he's going to stay in the draft. If not, he's going to be back. I think teams are getting all their information together. I guess it would help. The one thing I guess with pushing the date back is we'll hopefully know which order the draft is by then. The NBA will have had a lottery, get a draft order. It might help teams decide who they think, who they may make a promise to. So I think that's maybe what they're waiting on. So right now, when we're operating as if he's going to come back, I think that's the only way you can operate, like with him at least. And then as the coaching staff trying to figure out how we're going to play, we kind of operate as if he's not coming back. And then if he does come back, it's a pleasant surprise. My guess would be we may not know on him till August 3rd, just because he's right there. He's close, maybe late second round, maybe, but like all these NBA teams, I ask them all, where do you have them slotted? And they're most of the time, they're pretty honest with me.
Yeah.
But then they always put the caveat at the end. But, Coach, all it takes is one team. If there's one team that feels like he's that piece that they need, can really shoot, and, for the future, or they got a guy that's a shooter that's at the tail end of his career they want to bring in, it takes one team to make them a promise that they'll take him in the top 40 to 45, and then he's gone. So I don't have a very good answer for you on him right now, to be honest with you.
Whenever you're projected that late, it's usually not good news. So,
if he came back, I'll say this: if he made the same improvement from junior to senior year that he did from sophomore to junior year in our system, he's a first-round pick.
Yeah,
I think we all know that.
Yeah. So do what Joe Burrow did. Come back. Probably wasn't going to be drafted. I'm not saying he's going to be the number one pick, but Coach,
he's going to be close. He's going to be the conversation. That's for sure.
That's right. You got a lot of depth this year. I was looking at your roster, all the guys you got coming in. In a perfect world, because last year you had no options. You were down to like 6 or 7 guys. How many guys do you like to play? I'm talking about play significant minutes.
So, I think you go back to what you've done in the past. My last year at Buffalo, we played 9 guys in the rotation. 2 of them were freshmen that played about, 8 to 10 minutes a game. So we played 7 heavy in the rotation and two others that helped us here and there, and we were playing to get some experience. The year before that, we played 8. So I would say based on, how good everybody shows up, 8 to 9, I think once you try to start playing 10, 11 guys, you just lose some chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, it's just not, your better players aren't getting enough minutes. And then the guys that are under them aren't getting enough minutes if you're playing too many. So I would say 8 to 9, and to be honest with you right now, there's going to be some fights to see who's going to be in that rotation. I mean, there's some pretty good players.
Yeah.
A lot of that staying, Coach, as many years as you've coached, I think you go into a lot of years maybe thinking that, and it to me, it's always worked itself out pretty apparently. Somebody just establishes himself. Like last year, it worked itself out because of all the injuries. Like we didn't plan on having to play some of the guys we played as heavy as they were in the rotation. We were forced to based on the NCAA ruling with Quinterly and the injuries we had. So but hopefully the rotation gets established by somebody beating somebody else out rather than a default type deal with the injuries like it was last year.
Yep, that.
Outside of the turnovers that you had this year, I know there were too many for you. Are you pleased with the way you played in other areas?
On the offensive side of the ball, minus the turnovers and a few guys' free throw percentages, I thought they bought into the system the way we wanted to play, to get the space in the floor, all that stuff that we instituted. I thought they did a great job, buying into that and playing that way. Now, I'll say this, like, to play the way we really like to play, we can't have one guy that does the majority of the playmaking like we have with Kyra. We need to have multiple playmakers, and it just kind of, like I said, with everything that happened last year with the injuries, and then we really had to do some player development with some other guys, and we've kind of stressed, and now it hurt us that we can't have our hands on them all spring and summer, but, we've given guys what they need to get better on. I'm trusting that they're working on it, but we'd like to be more playmakers, more guys that can pass, dribble, and shoot all on the floor together at the same time. But then if you get, and again, your teams, from me watching them when I was younger and then studying now, like, they were great defensive teams. I thought we were way too far behind on the defensive side of the ball. And again, some of that was the way we want to play offensively. We needed skilled players all over the floor where we didn't have big skilled guards, and skilled wings like we needed to shoot. I was, we're watching film with the guys. We meet with them 3 times a week. We had a group on the floor, and it actually played fairly significant minutes with Kyra, Beetle, Shaq, and like Petty. So Petty's playing the 4, at like 6'5", 100 and whatever pounds he is. Like he's not a 4-man, he's a 2. So I mean, there's times where we were really small. When you put Beetle, Kyra, and Shaq on the floor together as your 1, 2, 3, like, that doesn't help defense. It doesn't help rebounding. So I think we've got bigger, more skilled players where we can be a lot better on the defensive end, and I think that's where we have to make the biggest jump this year, to be honest with you, is on that end of the floor.
Yeah, I would think Bruner and Herb Jones could be nightmares for teams defensively. Those guys,
I agree.
They can guard multiple positions, was what you want. If they switch out on the ball screen, whatever, you got guys there, from what I can tell, they really can sit down and guard. So those 2 guys should help you tremendously right there, shouldn't they, Nate?
No, I 100% agree, and I think everybody in the state knows how good of a defender Herb was. And so, like, I'm big in analytics. Our analytics company gives us basically, they call it a leverage. Like, how much better are we when Herb's on the floor than when he's off the floor? And on the defensive end, we were 12 points better when he was on the floor, meaning that the opponent scored 12 points less for 100 possessions when he was on the floor. Well, and he was by far and away our best. We did the same analysis for Yale's games with Bruner. They were 18 points better on the defensive end of the floor when Bruner was on the floor than when he was off the floor. So that tells you what kind of impact he had on the defensive side of the floor for them. Now, again, SEC is a little bit different than the Ivy League, but I still think he's going to be one of the best players in the SEC, especially with the way we want to play, like you just said.
Yep.
Switching positions, athletic, offensive end, super skilled. I mean, he had a triple-double at Yale. He was 2 assists away from another triple-double, which his triple-double is the only triple-double in Yale history. So it's a long basketball history to be the only guy to have one. So I'm excited about him, putting him and Herb together in there. I think it'll be really good defensively and offensively, both.
No doubt. All right, Dad, you got anything else for Coach before we let him go?
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate you being on very much. Hope you're having a good summer, and I look forward to watching Alabama play next year.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And all these NBA guys I talk to, they always bring you up, Coach. They everybody remembers your teams and all the players you had in the NBA. So we actually have a recruiting graph that shows all the NBA players that came from Alabama. For whatever reason, those years where you were coaching has the majority of the NBA players. So we got to start to add a few more that have a 2 in front of them.
I always told him I like to play with good players.
Well, those guys, Coach, make you a good coach. I'll just tell you, those plays work a lot better with those great players. So, and I think you already know that. So,
no kidding. It's always good. It's always good talking to both of you. You guys have a good summer. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach
Thank you.
Nate Oats.